I do good. See if I can get
Is Richard back yet? When's he back?
Our call over the Henderson County Regional Planning Commission for August 7th, 2025. Here we established a form here, and we'll let Grant Hartley approve and do approve minutes.
Okay, minutes from the previous Henderson County Regional Planning Commission, May 1st, 2025. One person signed in, attendees spoke, Mr. Jordan, Regional Planning Commission, attendees, Tommy Grant, Amy, Perry, attendance. With the reading of the minutes from April 3rd, 2025. Tommy made a motion to approve minutes, I second the motion. All the business that we discussed, you made a motion to approve the public hearing with the resolution from him, Henderson County subdivision regulations, to add the definition of permanent director, to replace the permanent building official. Tommy, second Amy's motion passed unanimously. We discussed the need for review the county road specifications, loading drilling, discuss Salvation Properties LLC project, and provided the following updates from that. He spoke to the reading for TDOT contact. He spoke to the local engineer and outlet center, and was in discussion about doing a traffic study. Also, wanted to do the road slightly. We also spoken with Cedar Grove Water Department for the Southwest Electric, TO, T-Day regarding the septic tank programs. After closing of the public hearing, the new business discussion around mentioning county road standards with sub-regulation standards. And then we discussed our next meeting. Grant and which to adjourn, I'd say
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? All right, all in favor? Motion passed. Before we get started, on my changes, on the hearing we have business with the commission, I'll move that to the end. There's nothing tonight that's going to be voted on. There's no submissions for subdivisions. Basically everything that we've got tonight is just for discussion. So some things that some folks may have concerns about may get answered throughout the discussion. So I'll have to begin.
Mr. Chairman, going forward, if y'all want to substitute item C, talking about generic zoning, and move that and change it to points of discussion, which is basically based on this housing market analysis, y'all can do that.
And I think what we'll do is change in new business C from discussion of another resolution to zoning and utility plan for discussion. Alright, so we're moving the public comment in, we'll move the old business. You want to
Yes, sir, I'll provide background. Last month, I basically took what you have now with the five standards, it's a little more detailed. There was some information about what the county uses now. And rather than change everything around, I gave y'all two options. But before y'all spend the money on the public notice and have hearing presumably next month or the month after, depending on when the paper can run it for 30 days, I want y'all to kind of approve this. And one of them again, the one that, was handed out before the meeting, if you got out there here, it talks about the road surface being 18 feet. It's on the second page. And again, I didn't change the formatting, it's what the county is. If it makes the county feel better, I'm all about that. Talks about a 26-foot minimum road bed, 18-foot surface, the ditches have to be pulled, the culverts all in place. The road needs to be put in place 1 year before the county commission could accept it. Talks about 6 inches of gravel, pack and roll, and then it talks about the hot mix, and it must be 18 to 20 foot wide. And I think that's the part that was, no problem.
So basically, we have somebody submitted for a subdivision, and we have the current subdivision regulation, and they are, the 24-foot requirement of width, and we're trying to reduce the width, try to make it easier for subdivision, not have to spend so much money. After evaluation of what the county's actual requirements are,
I think we
so we would have an option to move it to just changing the width and keeping the current requirements that's already been adopted, or we can change the complete resolution to match what the county is. So,
Mr. Chairman, again, I think the hot mix of that question last time. And I'm going to put on the follow-up or feedback from the county on that. I didn't get any feedback at all.
I think from my understanding, they're not going to stay with the bottom.
Again, this same thing again, should be the same deal. And also, we can point out, Bertha was concerned about preliminary plans before. Apparently, the county commission required that for the road in place. So that was already in some resolutions on.
All right, so what we need to do is give you an answer of which one leads to move forward with.
Yes, sir, and again, there aren't like them, but this is one available in the public. And if somebody comes up next month or get feedback from the county, that maybe it needs to be tweaked a little, it can be quick. Now, about the road bed and base,
What we got here is what I think.
18 feet, hot mix, 24 foot,
yes.
But I guess, this is the argument I've got, is once we're talking about 18 minimum foot surface, and it goes and say, well, it must be 18 to 24 wide. Clarification there.
What do we just make it 18? 18, so I was taking 20 foot. But you said that's what.
Again, I think this is, this is
Let
a strange fucking place.
me clarify, so this is what the county currently uses. In your package,
I just changed a few things.
this is what's already been adopted in the red, is what we check. So just make sure y'all understand that, basically, it's less than the requirement.
You require.
That's what. That's what we, so Steve Henderson, we got it. Right, so. We talked to Steve, and that's what we got with the current, requirement.
We felt that it's, the regulation we have is too restrictive. So we will at least that, the county commission approved on the road, that it would consist of that. I'm concerned with some of this regulation
Right, that's all, we're doing it, we're doing it with the county property. We actually see the county property, originally.
And the reason I put the 24 feet in there is because, quite honestly, contractors will evaluate, you know, if it says 24, you might get 22 on the ground. But there's also a state law that supersedes even counties without subdivision regulations. So we're private roads have to be 24 feet if there's any. So they can violate the law if they try to put a gate on their road after the fact. And again, that's the limit their lawyer figuring out.
I was on the side.
I just asked you about the city.
He asked me, and I said, you do something I think it's horrible, it's nice, we asked him about that.
My recommendation would be Madison County, what they want to have, so it's, that way, whether you look, if you go to Steve Finger or go to the subdivision regulation, just don't say the same.
Right.
Y'all would approve the way the road's constructed by the developer, and before it becomes county, it would have to go to the county commission. And that's part of that contamination.
Yeah, so the process regardless of the number of vehicles, they got to build to the standard and then Steve got to approve it before we take over. Just because they build to the standard doesn't mean you approve it because they don't do the process.
Yes.
It's got to be something that we're
And I did hear some discussion about reducing it to 18, which is y'all Friday. And for frame of reference, a typical parking spot is 10 foot wide. So if you got two cars meeting, you know.
well, you can't have that. With 8 foot handicap, you can't have that.
Yes, sir. I'm the most familiar with the handicaps. Everybody thinks I know them.
But 9 foot is visible, 10 foot wide.
Yes, sir. But 10 would allow, presumably, if it was put down at 20, cars to lean and pass, and, you know, a fire truck, a school bus, well, and that kind of stuff.
And the thing about it is, if we're building subdivisions in the county, obviously, already with home, a developer to exceed what the county requires.
No, sir.
So that's why I believe the 18 foot is suffice.
So you know, when you make your foot, you put it
I
out.
was going to have 3 foot of gravel on that side.
So you don't want to back it down to 18. Or just leave the 18 to 20.
I think 18 is minimal, so that's legal is 20 is not hard. And this is 18 to 20.
Okay.
So 18 would be, and the previous place says 18, so.
Yeah.
Do we need to make a motion for this?
Or so I just need, before y'all run an ad and pay the money for the public notice, I want y'all to at least have a general order, or we will do this.
Right, what I'm saying is, go with what the county already has.
It's a minimum of 18.
Yeah.
In fact, 18.5, that's the minimum.
Right.
What we do is just convert the second money. It's not, but that's what was, Mr. Jordan, that one is,
But I don't know, so.
no, that one is asked. And that's what we agree with.
So we're going, if there's the one you handed us,
Yes, sir.
we will.
And then somebody can run in the paper 30 days before the meeting where y'all go.
All right. Is there any other proper political business? Not, any more new business? Continuing education, Hamilton versus Poland.
Yes, sir. And this is one of the standard cases that everybody that went through, state finance office learned. It was in Gatlinburg, and it's where the developer built the road, but he didn't get the county involved on it. So it never was a county road. And they do it from 1973 to 1983, it was Supreme Court. But basically, they said, that the developer, just because he built it, don't make it good. And, if you go down through there, a lot of these standards, mirror some of y'all's standards, 50-foot wide, talks about the maze, talks about the road being proper drainage, etc. Y'all do go over above, but it has to be on the ground here to make sure, you know, it functions and it got washed away before the county will even accept, but you know, consider accepting it on the county roads.
Well, what I read, it appeared to me that, there was a disconnect from the regional planning commission and Sevier County.
Now,
In this instance.
yeah, this is a municipal regional planning commission, so it was a city that had jurisdiction outside, their corporate boundaries. So, yes,
So
sir.
they didn't think that the Sevier County was going to get the road approved. Right, a 3-year period there, where basically the road eroded and.
Now, one other thing, just because the planning commission, makes a vote and gives the developer a little bit of leeway, they're not liable to approve. And that's whether, noted in Lake County versus Drew, which is a West Tennessee case, and I used to work in Lake County. And again, we all learned that I used to offer the state, Lake County versus Drew, and Hamilton versus Fund. But again, it's not a public road, if it's so nobody can cheat and build a good road's a good road, so the private roads and the public roads would presumably, handle the traffic for fire, police, ambulances. Again, at the minimum standard, subdivision regulations is made over the setbacks. It's pretty simple. It's not as scary as people think.
You might have a question on the case.
And in the city board has to go on the streets, and the counties, of course, the counties do it and put it on the roads. And they normally do that in January, depending on how much volume on the roads they have built in since the last years.
All right, this will move on to the housing study review.
Yes, sir. And again, this is just a report. Y'all can incorporate this into some policies and goals and talk to your planning program. Again, it doesn't mean, the county commission has approved it, but it's something, to consider. And this right here, I think it was sent out by the county. Did y'all get that right?
I think that may be something else. I didn't know.
Oh, sure, that's fine. And again, I got to memorize,
Hey, that got sent out about last month, we got all that.
but, just a few points, the only subdivision, is involved that is reported was in the city limits election that happened before I was assigned to them. I'm familiar with the area and I've seen the plan in passing, it's the Constance subdivision. And there was a rezoning in Lexington where the city, I think they had the second reading, they're looking at some multiple family housing too, so outside of Lexington, y'all would be more involved and know more about the various subdivisions or any activities in the other towns.
Any discussion on housing study?
And they talked about the inflow and outflow again, and I'll give y'all a chance to look at it. And again, basically, I think there's points of discussion, bolster, and, are looked at in the future to implement the housing study. And again, I'll let y'all do that in the interim, and we'll take up the, points of discussion about the urban road boundaries and the local family and that kind of thing. I have that today. And I think y'all have a hard copy on the back.
Any more discussion about the, moving on? All right, so we changed, C from the discussion of water regulation to the zoning. We did the planning board discussion.
Yes, sir. And again, this is the floor. So, everybody listening to know, y'all are just learning this for continuing education and for possible recommendation at some time in the future. But the longer we wait, the more stuff hits the road without us having that people out.
You got it,
On the next,
no, yes, the points of discussion.
yes, so I gave you guys a handout. Some things to be considered at a work replacement utilities lot. So number one, based on the study that you guys just went over, some of the focus, you need to focus on the growth that's around the city limits, within the city limits. But they also consider urban growth boundaries. Basically, you heard the well where infrastructure already exists. There was a developer looking at some land out Sand Ridge, and he had a pretty good piece of ground that he was looking at, and he wanted to put about 75 homes there. But the issue that he came across was they only had a 2-inch water line that runs down Sand Ridge Road that's already basically meeting all needs and cannot take any more water. So water is an issue there. So as we look at the group, we need to make sure that we're identifying these locations and they don't have enough water supply. Look at the transportation side of it as far as like the building inside the city elections right now. The city election districts are at near capacity right now. If you look at the Walmart area, some congestion right there, there's really no outsourcing right there because it's so congested. National Trace Drive is all is a 2-lane state highway. It's probably the most dense populated area we have. So if we put anything outside the city limits that way, you guys need to understand the effect that it would have to come to town for commerce. Look at that right. So part of the coordinating the infrastructure plan, areas of lack of water access. There's some places in the county that some utilities, they have water access on the road, but it doesn't connect. So we're trying to find resources, what they call consider close these loops. That's why you see a lot of flushing going on, because at the end of the line, the water is stagnant, so we have to flush the line, save the money, the water runs back out these lines.
And that gets with fire protection.
Fire protection too. Currently, county's only needs consideration. The only thing you need to look at is land use as far as it's connected inside the city. The city's going to expand the county anywhere for annexation. We need to be mindful of what that looks like. That way we're maybe having buffer areas for the county. The city doesn't approach too far into it without consideration. Design standards. Let's see. Obviously, align development incentives in the study about tips. We have been going, but have stalled because of lack of county support. I would recommend, first of all, you guys start looking at it as a potential. Develop a shared tip pilot policy for urban growth boundaries. A policy that's what it looks like. That way, as a commission, as they're getting new information, there's a policy in effect. That way, it takes all the politics out of it. It's already written out.
And there's a new state law I'm also hearing about it, I haven't seen it all put together in an outline and in visual form, but it has place and they're doing the outreach right now. But like I say, if I can't speak, and I don't have to pay taxes because it's out of my wheelhouse, but I'll try to get somebody or get some information about the deal stuff. At least give y'all a picture of it in the state law where you could read it yourself. So that's something I can work on too.
There's whole family housing, so parents talk about a single family, rental office is limited, the rental office in the area is pretty high. One thing we need to consider as we look at the growth of Henderson County is, areas that lack shelters and warning systems. So down to the emergency planning growth areas, require emergency provisions in a major new development. So as we look at these new developments, they come in, something that I'd like you guys to consider, do some points of discussion. Basically, some provisions in that development for emergency provisions somewhere. There's a huge opportunity zone surrounding Lexington that falls outside the city limits. It crosses the urban boundary hubs into your planning region. Huge. There's a lot of big incentives for that, tax incentives and things of that nature. So the new developers coming in, they're going to be looking for these opportunity zones for development. So when they do that, we need to be familiar where they are. And this is going to lead into a lot because they come in and start developing, prices start to drop, materials start to come down. The opportunity zone is basically, if you take Lexington and you draw a scene around it, basically it goes from Sand Ridge, swoops all the way around south, pretty ways, comes back up on the side, kind of just yeah. In the house study, I sent you guys last month and asked that. I think I forget what page it is, but very good.
I think it stops right around. Well, that's all that.
Yeah.
Stop right there on the road.
So the opportunity zone election design zoning or infrastructure to attract opportunity zone investors. So when that happens, they come in, we need to have policies in place to make sure those are checked out. And support mixed use commercial multi-family projects. Now, as these developers come in and build in these locations, go back to what I said earlier, the transportation side of it, we're already at massification in a lot of areas. So when they come in, we need to be thinking that's where a tip come in a lot of time, where you can take and pay for the road improvements for that to get ahead of it. And probably one of the biggest concerns that I have, any future development will come in if we have a 50, 75 homes subdivision, 150. The school system needs to be involved in this process. We need a representative in the school system be in the room. For instance, Parkers Crossroads, they have their own planning, they have their own board of zoning and all that stuff. But a bigger school falls in our area as far as a county standpoint, we're responsible for the school system. Another 150 homes come, more children are going to be able to go to attend school. That school is sufficient enough. We need to start getting the school system involved, or we have some planning that we're not getting in the last bit. Or we get a 150 home subdivision built for 3 years on school, but having plans for 5 years. So we need to make sure we're sensitive to that and talk to our school system also. So basically, it's called a school impact review. It's required as part of subdivision to make a site plan reviews. We have that in anything. Let's see. I guess it might be. So this basically is points of discussion when it comes in and it falls under the zoning aspect, but it's really hard to figure development. When this comes in, we need to make sure that we're planning the services around the developments and giving them the so we got the infrastructure going in, the traffic coming in and out, the school side of it, and saying that, lean in on some of the tax available, so I can see a program where you take that money and build better roads for the entire community. We're not expecting it not to happen. Other than that, that's all I have.
Mayor, one point is working on local government, with local government, more and more of the financial burden is being passed the things to the state, and that's trickling down to the
But it's going to happen. There's nothing the federal government, including the state, which is good in a lot of ways, because the state knows most people in the federal government. We know what we need, what we're saying. Other than that, that's all I've got. Any questions? Thanks for your time.
and we can take this out and let y'all really read, study it, and give me something to do. You know, if y'all see something that I can consider, whatever, or he's willing to say, man, stuff off and do it.
Well, obviously, we don't want to consider other counties have things in place.
Well, this is pilot stuff is super. So again, like I say, they passed the law, but they put it in the outline form yet. So I can't even look at how it falls in the law. But they'll have it done before August or September.
Still,
Yeah, again, they tweaked it some.
The residential side is the commercial side now.
Right.
But it's still about 3 years old.
Shelby County used to do the deals for the commercial mixed use, where they did some tax abatements for commercial. In Jackson, they've done something for free or back in the day. And again, I didn't work with them, I just heard that on the news.
Saying that this is forced on the local level.
No, I'm saying the more y'all plan and to take care of yourself, you know, the better.
So if you read the housing market analysis, it gives you how many houses what you need over the next 40 or 30 years. And we don't do anything for development of housing, we want to figure out what's out of the stuff. So, we're just going to go back to the commission. And then all we're doing is like recommendations to the counties. We're not putting policy on so,
But the planning commission, they're not with the regulatory side, but it's more comprehensive. Again, they can make recommendations, but ultimately the legislative body deals with the actual money and implementation.
so it's our job to do a lot of research and figure out things we would like to see happen in our county to promote growth, or promote growth. And so, I know right now, there's a housing shortage, and it's hard to get developed in the city of there's just some thoughtful work we made. Any questions or comments on the thoughtful work? No,
But on page 21, Mr. Chairman, these real estate now, there's 96 single family dwellings on the market. And they say they need 7 lots. Down there at the bottom. Page 20. Yes, that's the one. So even I was about there with more than 87. And then if you turn to 23, Thomas Meadows provided whatever continues,
Influence have supplied another 72, lots. But it's noted, it's on hold. And then phase 1 3.
Mark, I may have been some, week, but I think, one thing I would like to say, this was Mike Dawg, he made a point there, in that speech he was made about being the penalty that people want to use it. The infrastructure in our county, in our city, the penalty number of people. We can talk about roads on it, but you talk about the penalty,
That was actually one of the talking points was focused on infrastructure, working with.
we don't need to get too far before the horse. Because you get the people here, we can't get around the county, and you can't get in and out stores and back, you can't move people around. We just make a miserable living.
That was part of the discussion, talking about the roads and the.
Yeah, I mentioned that. But it seems like all I ever hear out of everybody is health. We've got to look at what goes along with that. I mean, it's just not good.
And I think the school point was part of that. It's not all about it. But two, I hear more and more from people on their kids is what I'm about home. And, or somebody says something today, it's need to put the mile in the courthouse.
I mean, I understand what's coming back on. Because I was talking with a friend today, and he was talking about that I've had opportunities my whole career, take jobs away from here. I didn't look for where I wanted to be here. So all I grew up, new people in every direction from where I live, that's changing. But we got to, you're right, I mean, we need to have opportunities here. We can't grow too fast, if we can't help people, right people. It's just like here it says, address everything, not just subdivisions and housing.
Well, so we just be clear, we are the planning commission. So we have multiple leaders here, but the main thing that we do is approve and review subdivision. But we're also here to try to help the county commission make recommendations. And so we're actually digging into the infrastructure side, which is really not what all planning commissions do. I feel like we're trying to look at it from a kind of a broader brush here. And you know, we're not having laws or regulations, we're just evidence of it.
What you're saying is, gather information, and look for that. Given the right information, we can help you.
All right. Any more discussion on the points of discussion? Nobody? Any other property presented business? New business? I guess we'll move on to hearing if anybody has had business with the commission. Anyone wishing to address the commission may do so at this time. Most sign. So, sign issues over here, if you haven't already done that. Come forward with your comments, state your name, your address, and the actual link to the comments to it.
When you look at the definition of subdivision, I would appreciate you to keep in mind that it's been a long-standing tradition to provide more land than needed, and then later allow the children and grandchildren to live on that property. I think that was right. And I would hate to think that we have to go the road all the way back in the farm.
Mr. Chairman, I'm making a distinction between the driveway and
Yeah, so
this back in.
yeah, so if you're just putting up a private driveway, that's not apply. So if you're subdividing off lots and building roads to sell on lots, then that's considered a subdivision.
We gave my daughter 5 acres, and all that stuff, 100 years ago, we built her house. Now, we've never had that, survey, and he gets that, I want to be sure that you're asking about done now. We want, I know that some people must be moving off 3 acres, 4 acres, 5 acres, whatever, or ranch.
I don't, and
So
so,
if y'all see anything else,
right, we're not even bringing it before us to look at it. It's hard for us to answer that question without knowing the details.
and there's state law now that anything that wasn't surveyed before, and it conveys, that's under the state survey law, but ain't got anything to do with it. It means not everything is related to the language. There's other state laws about survey.
I had one question for you when we were talking about roads, use the word hot mix. How, that is different from chip and tar, right? Was the county going to bring chip and tar roads up to the standard, is hot mix?
So,
Our chip
any
and tar
roads, any new roads, the county builds, currently is hot. Now, I'm not, we patch roads with chip and tar, it's not always the most desirable, but it's still a practice of that.
I mean, our roads over in Blueberry, over in Madison County, we've got a tolerance, and have non, they're still have gravel on top of it, we use it.
Now, that's nothing to do with the planning commission. I can figure it out. Any more comments?
How are you doing?
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.